Good morning, everyone. It's Beth Kozik from Elegant Greetings. It's Saturday morning and time for catalog copycat cards. Let's start out by giving away the card that we made last Saturday. This card was made with the Rooted in Nature stamp set, and we used the shaded spruce for the card base. We stamped off for some of the trees, and then we did a full strength tree here. Die cut that and then pop that up with some dimensionals. We use these cute wood embellishments, and then we had just some simple sentiments that we stamped on some scraps of paper. So let's go ahead and select the winner. We had a lot of people comment this time, so I greatly appreciate all of your comments. And our winner this week is Missy. So Missy, congratulations. I will send this card to you in Monday's mail. All right, so today's card is again in our annual catalog, and we're on page 31. And we're going to use the Sailing Home die set as well as the coordinating punches, or excuse me, coordinating dies. This is a really nice set. It isn't brand new. We've had it for a little while now, a couple catalogs, I believe. And it is a really nice set for making masculine cards, graduation type cards. It's really versatile. I just love the looks of it. So we're going to make the card that's right here. Again, we're making a little mini card. It's like a 3x6, so it ends up making a 3x3 card once it's folded. So let's go ahead and get started and what we need for this card. Now the designer paper that is shown here, I don't have exactly that paper. That's from the Whale of a Time designer series paper. So I'm going to use from the Forever Greenery suite. So again, we can always improvise with what we do have if we don't have exactly what we see in the catalog. So the Forever Greenery paper I chose to use is this piece here, which has the same colors, and it resembles, to me, kind of like seaweed floating in the ocean. So we're going to use that. And then let me show you the die set and the stamp set. I'll keep my catalog handy here so we can follow along. Our stamp set is Sailing Home, and it is a red rubber set cling, so it does cling very well to the blocks. And then the coordinating dies. Oh, these dies are so awesome. There is a lighthouse die, there's the anchor, there's the ship's wheel. This is kind of like a seaweed kind of a die. There's a sailboat. There's a rope, kind of a knot. There's this nice piece, which we're going to use today to cut out our sentiment. This is another piece of rope that can be die cut. Another sailboat, and then this is the, I don't know what that's called, the center part that would go into this part of the stamp. So you know how the compass has the circle, and then the, I don't know, whatever that metal piece is that goes to point to whatever direction the compass is at. So the dies are awesome, and you get, I forget how many are in here, 12. So there's 12, and the stamp set has 12 stamps. So a really nice set to have on hand to make masculine cards. Okay, our designer paper, I believe I cut this to 2 7/8. Yes, so 2 7/8 by 2 7/8. And we're using a Pretty Peacock cardstock. So this is a 3x6, scored at 3 inches. Of course, we have dimensionals. We're going to need a little piece of the baker's twine, and this is from the Playful Pets suite. So this black and white twine. Our ink colors are Smoky Slate, Pretty Peacock, and then I have my 2 stamps mounted already. And then we need a couple of the Rhinestone Basic Jewels. Those are going to end up being the bubbles on the card, and our Take Your Pick tool to apply them. And then our Stampin' Seal, and I've already die cut the one piece that we're going to put our sentiment on. And then I also stamped the anchor and die cut that. So the thing to remember with these types of stamps, these can always be hand cut. The dies are wonderful, of course, and they do cut out exact, but this could certainly be cut out with scissors. We call it fussy cutting if the dies were not part of your collection. But if they were, of course, we have our brand new die cutting machine. Our full-size cutting machine came out with our new catalog in the summer, but our mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, which is right here, it's just $60, and it's a mini version of our bigger Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So that is now available. It's awesome to use for a lot of our smaller dies. Very portable, and it stores up in a very small space, so it doesn't take up a lot of space on your crafting table. So that is now available. Just thought I would mention that since it happens to be right on that page. Okay, let's go ahead and get our stamping done. I'm going to put this aside for the moment. This card is going to go together really quickly. So I'm going to open up our Peacock ink, and then I'm going to stamp our sentiment. It says, "Let hope be your anchor through the storms of life," which is a really nice inspirational saying for someone if they need a little boost, if they're going through a hard time. Okay, there we go. So I'll put that aside, let that dry for a moment. And then the anchor, of course, I already did. I had just stamped that on Whisper White in the smoky slate, and then I die cut it. So that's ready to go. And I think we're ready to assemble already. So our card, again, is just a 3x6, and that's folded in half. So our card ends up being a 3x3. I'm going to use a little stamp and seal on the back of our designer paper. And again, I was thinking I was going to run out. If you look here, you can see when the stamp and seal is getting close to the end. See that red that's around the cartridge there? So I'm very close to being out. I'm glad it didn't happen on camera. So, all right, this is going to go right on the front of our card. I left just a small amount of space that will show around, okay, around our designer paper. And next we're going to attach our sentiment, and of course I have to use dimensionals just like the card shows. I'm using the little minis. They're just itty bitty, the perfect size for a smaller sentiment like this that we want to pop up. And then our anchor will go next. So let's get this on the card first. And you might wonder, how did I figure out how big to make this card? Well, let me show you. So I'm going to place this right on the edge like that. Okay. So what I did is in the catalog, I looked at the card. Of course, this is a full-size card. I knew that. And I knew this was going to be quite a bit smaller. So I took the cutout, which is here, and measured it. Okay, so this measures, I think it was 1.5. So the amount of space that is above and below it was probably the same exact width of this part of the cutout. So I just guesstimated it was a 3x3 card. And when this part is laid on the card, you can kind of see there's that much space below and above. Okay, so that's how I guesstimated how big to make this card. All right, our anchor is ready, and the die actually cuts a hole right in it. But if we were hand cutting, we could certainly use a small punch and just cut or punch a little hole in the middle there. So this is going to have dimensionals on the bottom section. So I'm going to put one here. These little minis are great for a smaller die cut like this. Okay. But then the top part, I don't want a dimensional there. I'm going to put some adhesive instead, just a little touch, because the top part of the anchor is going to rest on the sentiment. So I want the bottom part to be popped up, but not the top, because I already have my sentiment on dimensionals. All right. And then we need to add a little bit of our twine. So I'm going to place that through this punched out hole here, and my twine is coming undone. Let's see if I can get that through there. There we go. Okay, and then I'll cut down about there, and then it's just a simple knot that was tied. Let's see if I can get all these ends in there without fraying. Takes a little bit of patience. Nope. Let's try that again. So just making a simple loop, and then these little ends need to go through here. Okay, I think I got it. Pretty close. There we go. Okay, so it's kind of like maybe a slip knot. I'm not sure what knots are called, but so it's just like that. Okay, and then I'm going to snip off these extra ends here. Okay, so that's ready to go, and I'm going to add that onto the card. Okay, so that's going to be placed here, and then that top section is going to rest and be secured onto the sentiment. Okay, there we go. That looks cute. And then our last step is to add some of the rhinestones, and it looks like they put on maybe 3 or 4. So I'm going to use my take your pick tool and put a couple down here. So they kind of look like the bubbles. I use some bigger ones and some smaller ones. And then they put a couple more up at the top here, like there. And one more of these. There we go. Now I don't want that to flop around, so I'm going to add a glue dot underneath the knot. And our glue dots are great. We can kind of ball them up into a little ball. I'm going to place that right under the knot on there so that won't flop around. Okay, I think we're done. That was a very quick card. Here's the catalog version, and here's my version. Very cute. I really like that. Okay, ladies, so that's it for today. That was a really quick video, and I hope that you enjoyed watching this one be made. Again, it's Sailing Home, the stamp set, and the coordinating dies are called Smooth Sailing. Okay, so if you'd like a chance at winning this card, please do leave a comment. I really appreciate hearing from you, and let me know what you think. All right, have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.